Okay, when you go to put the fuel pump in, it's important that you get a good seat on the rubber gasket. I usually seat it up against the fuel pump first and then seat it to the fuel tank. Anything where rubber meets plastic or metal, you can lubricate it with spray silicone and it works really well. And then you just got to put it down in there, and then you can see there's a little tab that lines up so that you're in the right direction for the fuel lines to be accepted. So you hold that down with one hand, turn the camera off, and then put your ring back on with the other. Rotate it with the clockwise motion with the screwdriver and hammer, and then you're good to go to put it back in. Just a quick overview, the things to disconnect before you come down: your evap line, your evap sensor, your filler neck and the vent for the filler neck, and then of course your two fuel lines, your pressure, which is the thicker one, and your return line, and your electrical connection. You'll notice that this is a different electrical connection. This is 4 flat instead of 4 on dice. The kit comes with a little bag that you can convert it over. You got to cut your old pigtail off and then splice that in with the appropriate connectors. They're also included. All the new pumps, I think that the suppliers had a cheaper availability for this design, or it's a superior design. I couldn't tell you, but most of the replacement pumps for these Chevy pickups and SUVs are this style where you got to do the pigtail. So anyway, I hope that's helpful. If it is, feel free to subscribe, rate it thumbs up. That's the new rating system instead of 5 stars, whichever one's down there. It'll help promote the video and help more people. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comments below. Thanks, love you. Okay, as much gas as I spilled when I was dropping the tank off, you know, so you got to drop that end to clear the axle so that you can clear the cross member with that end. I don't want to spill gas again. Spilling gas, dangerous. So you can either siphon it out. What I like to do is I throw in the new pump and purge it. It gets all the air and everything out, which is kind of nice and part of the process. But I've made jumper cables basically out of some thick speaker wire that I use to supply power to stuff that I'm doing. You gotta be really careful with this. I cannot endorse this, condone it, blah blah blah, legal blah blah blah. Don't do it. But if you are, here's how you're gonna do it. The far right hand side pin is a negative, and then not the one that's on the very far left. And you see the way I pin the negative to where it's out on the outside? That's to keep at least one of them from moving around. And then the second one from the left, so not the very far left side, but the next pin over is positive. And then the fat line is the pressure line, and so I'll just pump it out into the gas can that way. And then from the gas can, you can either put it back in the car or just whatever. So it makes it so that it's a lot easier to put the tank in without spilling gas on yourself, and thereby creating a real hazard, in my opinion. Okay, so here's the one that I broke off. I broke it off long just to be safe because I love myself and don't want to create a lot more work. But the principle is the same. You take a sheetrock screw and you screw that sheetrock screw into the opening on the back side. And sometimes I'll break off clear up in there. You just need something to grab onto it with. You take your little tool. These are so easy to use that I'm only doing it with one hand. You get past that little nub or whatever, and I like to turn it. It gives you more to pull on. But anyway, you push it together, you push it in, and then you wiggle it out. And theoretically, it's really easy. Let's see if I can get this in frame. I don't even know if that's on or not. We'll go for it anyway. Push it together, then pull it out together. And either I got that or I didn't, but that's the way it works. And the way that these work is that there's a little spring inside of there. There's 4 of them, and they all clip down on that little ridge, and you can see the tool makes it perfectly flat. Instead of being a little drop off for that clip to get onto, the plastic thing just helps get those clips over it. People try with screwdrivers. I did that when they first came out, and that's why I say people did. It just means that I did. But basically it just chews them up, and it's not that good of an idea. So I'd get the tool. If you can get these, they're the way to go. These ones, they don't even have a brand name on them, but they're the way to go because they're a lot longer flex portion to clip on, so it's easier to get them on and off without breaking them. So that's that.